Greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about facial appearance and what makes a little subtle difference in facial appearance. Frequently is noticeable by other people, but they don't actually realize what it is, but they know there's something there that changes the facial appearance. And so we're going to look at it, and I'll show you some things that do change facial appearance, and you can correct these and correct the function, and it'll look more natural in there. So just kind of go with me today. I'm going to do a good bit of drawing on the screen here, I think, but I want you to think what difference this makes for you. Now, I dressed up today. I've wore a tie for 50 years, and I just gave up on it after a while, but let me get back here to just facial appearance this morning. I want to see if we can improve facial appearance. All right, this young man has a very common, I say a common problem. It's not all that terrible common, but he has an end-to-end bite. In other words, he bites down and his front teeth just touch right edge to edge like this. And you recognize it, but you don't know that there's something different about this young man. And if you really look at it close, you'll see that. And so you can correct these things two different ways. Let me get over here and show you. This is what we call a super Class 1, or it's a mild Class 3 case. Now, Class 3 is where the bottom jaw is sticking out like this. This is just a very mild Class 3 case where the bottom teeth are just right up here with the upper teeth. And so when this young man bites, he has to bite his front teeth together, and his molars and everything hit at the same time. In other words, he doesn't have any overjet and overbite like you should have if you correctly lined up in here. And we try to do this for everybody that we do orthodontics for. You can go out and bite a sandwich off, and as you do, you open your mouth just a little bit, and the condyle slips down the fossil like this, and your back teeth don't touch. You don't even think about it. When you bite through something out here, you don't even think about your back teeth not touching. But if they touch, you sure think about it, and you try to overcome that problem. Now, if you take somebody, say for instance, I've got several cases we've done on adults that were 40, 50, 60 years old or something like that, and we took out one lower tooth to solve this problem because we didn't really want to change all the back teeth back in here. They had worn down to where they fit together, and so we wanted to keep them that way. And so that way we just took one lower anterior tooth out, and I'll show how we did that. Now, to do it properly, you have to come back and then you take out the lower 6-year molars if you have your wisdom tooth back here in the back of the mouth. We're getting comments now from people around over the different countries in the world where they're going in and they have a decayed tooth over here, and they're going to need to get it out. It decayed while they were just 6, 7, 8 years old, you see, and now their 12-year molar and their wisdom tooth is good, and they want to move these teeth up into that space. And you can do that, but they just don't teach it very much. There's hardly any orthodontic school I know of right offhand that actually teaches how to bring the second and third molar forward into this gap and close it up, and you can't tell it one bit. I mean, you'd show it to 10 dentists, and about 9 of them anyway would miss it. They would not think that that's a 12-year molar and a wisdom tooth in there like that. So anyway, this is something that should be taught in dental schools everywhere. There's no need for that. And we'll show you how to actually move the teeth forward in a bodily fashion in here, where they'll end up just as straight lined up in there as anything. And we hope to do that. But if you take somebody that's 40 or 50 or 60 years old or something, and these teeth are worn in at a bad spot, you know, something like that, then it's better not to do that. So then we come in and take out one lower central, and that solves the problem. It gets them underneath here. You get your overjet and your overbite, but you still have the malocclusion back here in the back of the mouth, you know, but it's worn into that position. So I don't want to beat that program to death here, but that's one way to do that. Now we'll go in and let's look at this young man and from the front of the mouth. Now, I'm kind of stopped up today. It seems like I stay stopped up. And anyway, if I have somebody like this that comes in and they're 40, 50, so something like that, then we can come in and take one lower central, either this one or this one over here. It doesn't make too much difference. You slide the other one into the gap and then share this, and you'll have one of them laying right down almost to the center like that, and then this one will take up that room, and then this one over here will take up this room over on this side, and you can have your overjet and your overbite, and you function pretty near normal in that fashion, and people don't notice it so much. But if you have to close like this all the time to bite together on the front, your back teeth hit at the same time, that's just not too good. So anyway, we're going to try to correct that problem in this young man right here. So I'm going to erase that, and we'll go on through. So the way to do it, the very best possible way is that if you take the 6-year molars out on the bottom, and you're going to have some extra space in here, and so rather than pull this in, we actually wear some class 3 elastics. We come off of these molars up here and come down and hook to this, and we slide these teeth back, you see, and as they get back they'll close down, and that pulls these front teeth forward at the same time. In other words, you're correcting both jaws by just wearing the class 3 elastics in here. And you do this immediately. When you take this tooth out, it's better if you have everything lined up and go ahead and start this. and then we bring these two teeth up to a class 1 relationship, and then bring these back to class 1 over here. And you can look at somebody like that, and we can dress them up, and you can't hardly tell that anything happened. In fact, if you show them to about 10 dentists, and there'd be about 9 of them miss it. They think that there was nothing missing in that particular situation. All right, let's get on going down through this. So let me get, now when I look at it from up above, it's it's not perfectly aligned down here. It kind of dips in. You can't really like to have something really nice and curvature out here. And then you're going to bring these teeth further, because you'll be wearing class 3 elastics. They're going to pull these. I like to even wear a lip bumper up here on the upper anterior, and you have an expansion in this lip bumper. It goes back in the tube back here at the back of the mouth, and you'll usually have a deal like that so you can expand and keep this out in front of the tissue. You want a soft vascular bed if you're hoping to move these anterior teeth to the front. It's better not to have the tooth itself push into the tight lip structure up here, but to have a lip bumper push it in and keep a space between the tissue and the lip bumper, and that lets a vascular bed develop in here, and you can develop your bone structure and everything that goes around those teeth better if you use an upper lip bumper when you're doing that. That's just natural. You just take the pressure off of them and then allow these teeth to move out with better bone structure on them when you go out there like that. So that's the way I hope that you would do these cases. Down here, this is the case before we take the teeth out. Now, personally, I like to extract these teeth and have these teeth ready to go. And then I start moving these teeth into this space almost immediately, the same day. If the guy goes over and somebody extracts his teeth, I then come back to the office and have them packed, and when they stop bleeding and everything, we rig it all up and we start moving the teeth in there. I want this tooth to come into this gap before the cortical bone in here has a chance to kind of close in like this. And if you leave them sitting around for just a week or 2 or 3 or more, the bone starts moving just immediately into there. Not that quick, but we like to get it out, and then we'll bring these teeth up into that space and then gradually close that space up, when we come through there. So we'll be coming in here with class 3 elastics, pulling these teeth to the rear and taking the upper teeth and bringing them forward in the mouth like that. And it sounds kind of complicated, but it's really not. And this should be taught in the orthodontic schools and in the dental schools. I mean, it is absolutely, to my way of thinking, it is just ridiculous for us to go back here and extract a wisdom tooth when we could slide the second and third molar up and fill this gap. It just takes a little while. If you start immediately when the gap is big here, your cortical bone is way out like this, it moves in there so easy. And it'll go in there a lot quicker. And then if you sit around for 2 or 3 months sometimes, and that's the way a lot of people do. They want to let it heal over and all this mess. Don't do that. Start on it the same day you can find out. I mean, if they extract them one day and you can get them by and you get them stop bleeding, everything going, and start moving the teeth into the gap that very day. Okay, we'll change that, Now this is how this young man's teeth met together. You see, they're just edge to edge right here, closing down like this. Now that's okay, that's not a bad deal, but somebody like this, you will pick it up. You'll see that guy that way and chew it like that, and you say, there's something wrong, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what caused that to happen in there. So, but you go back and change it and put these teeth where they come out underneath, right up around in here, something like that, and where the bite is, you have an overjet and an overbite in here, and you reach out here and bite something off, and your back teeth don't touch. That's the way it's supposed to be. And if it functions correctly, it'll look better. That's just a natural thing that happens in here. So let's get on with this. Now here, we're going to extract these teeth, and this young man is nearly 20 years old. He's 19 and a half years old. And these teeth have been in there a good long while. And so we come in and take these teeth out. And if I had my way of thinking and going, boy, the day somebody removes them, I want to start moving these teeth forward in that space. In other words, we'll start pulling that in a forward direction up there. And as we do this, we come in this way and we pull the front, in other words, we pull the upper posterior teeth in a forward direction, and that moves this out. Now that's where I like to have the lip bumper in this area coming back, and just have a little expansion loop in there to keep this off the tissue up here. You have a space in there, and that lets a vascular bed develop in there, and it moves much faster to do that. So people in a hurry to get it done, just do it that way. And then you can take these teeth and bring them up to the back side and literally parallel the roots in here, and you show it to 9 out of 10 dentists, and I'll almost bet you that there'll be 9 of them that won't even recognize that those are second molars and wisdom teeth, and not 6-year molars that are coming into the space like that. So let's go ahead and watch that close. All right. As we close this space up, you can do it several different ways. If you, our latest way of moving these teeth forward in here, we usually come back with a, we'll get right about the center of this thing right here, and we'll come in and we'll drop a line and do like this, and then we'll come off of this and go down. In other words, this little deal will be coming along here, drop down, come around, and then come down this. If you've got two teeth in here, let it go right on through the two teeth. Alright, so we put these two teeth into tubes, or anything on the side of these teeth. Now this, when I do that, this of course is going to drop down here in the front, and as I level it out, this wire will still want to go down here, and it'll push on this in that direction. Now you can tie this wire back here and pull forward on this, and the harder you can pull on it forward, and it'll move these teeth forward in a parallel fashion. It'll just bring them right on up like that. You see, if your root gets ahead of your crown, then you need to slow it down some. And so you want the root and the crown to go together, and they come on out just like that. And this one will go follow right onto it and close this space up right over here. Now this will tend to go back as it does, and it'll bring this back some too, so you want to keep this going straight. And now watch this go in there. If you do it with this fashion, you can close the space very easily and keep the roots of the teeth going together, parallel. We do it parallel, even though we put some bends in the arch wire. All right, let's see. Now, here we are a little further down the line. We didn't use that little loop, but we just came in right here like this. And then this goes down, and we bring it right across like that, and we tie this back real tight in here, and this will keep these teeth coming straight like that. And you see how they're coming straight, and then closing that space. Now if you paid attention up here, this is 329 of 88, and he's 20 years old now, and he was 19 and a half, so about a year has passed, and so it'll take less than a year for me to close this up right in here. All right, I'm going to close that out. Now the space is something like that, and we'll continue with it. He's 21 now, and now we pull it on up closer, and this looks like there's a lot of bone loss, but actually the attachment is not messed with, and you leave this alone for a few months, and that'll fill back in with bone structure like that. It'll fill back up, but it looks, the periodontal membrane is thickened, and it looks like there's a lot of bone loss in there, but that's not the case. The thing does that on every case. Now we'll go on, and let me get this. Now we're just about together here, and he's 23 years old, but we're kind of dragging our feet over on one side. Excuse me. Okay, we continue to go forward with that, and we're going to push the upper anterior teeth, but then I'm going to round this out up here, and we'll get into a heavier arch wire to do that. Let's see. All right. Now this is earlier in treatment. And now we're closing it just with some flexible wire. There we've got rectangular wire in it, and we've gone back and we have pushed the upper anterior teeth. These teeth are out in front now, and they lap over the lower teeth. In other words, we've got overjet and overbite back into the case, which is the way it should be done, and it'll look normal to come in and close it up like that. Now, there's we're closed part of the way, and here we're closed a good bit of the way. Now it's still not all the way together. All right, let me flip through this pretty quick. Now the upper is rounded out better. In other words, it's spread out better. It was kind of, like that in the form. Now that's closing together. Now here is the young gentleman, I think, after we had just about finished, but I don't think I've got him actually completely finished. But he is functioning correctly now. We've got his upper front teeth out in front, and the bite closes like that right there. And he can reach out here and bite, and it makes it look very normal that way. And so that's the best way to do that. And here it is after we've just about finished and ready to take him out. And you see the midline of the upper and lower, everything's in there. Now, if this person had been 40 or 50 years old, we would have just extracted one tooth, move these teeth together, but not try to align all the teeth in the back where they touch, because they wore down over periods of years, you see. So we just leave them that way. So that's the way we would have done that. Okay, this here we're closing, finishing up a little bit with some elastic chain, closing some of the spaces up over there. And here's the young man. Is a normal facial structure, and he'll have a bite that's closed, and he can reach out here and bite his teeth together and bite his hamburger too. And then the facial structure will look quite normal in there. That kind of backs us up to the end of this. I probably made this sound complicated. It's not that complicated, really. And I wish that people, now we're getting some comments back now that from people around over different places in the world, where they go to somebody and say, well, we've got some bad lower 6-year molars or something, and we're going to extract those and try to pull the second and third molars forward into this. And the dentist that's doing the job said, I'll go along with it. We'll try to do that. Or the orthodontist or the dentist that's doing the orthodontics does that. And so get that to where it is just common knowledge that if you lose a 6-year molar over here when you're a kid, you can close that gap up and not have to put some type of bridge or implant or anything else in it. You can close the space up. And that's what really should be taught in orthodontic school, and it ought to be taught in dental school. So when a dentist runs on this problem, he'll know that he ought to go get somebody that can slide those teeth forward to close that up. And I want to quit on that. And I appreciate you watching these things. And there's so many things that can be done to your teeth where you can use your permanent teeth to finish you out, and they'll last sometime the rest of your life. I mean, I'm be 94 years old this next birthday, and I should have still be wearing them out. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll close up and hope to see you again. And it is so interesting to do orthodontics and see people's lives change and makes their facial structure look better and everything about it. So thank you again, and I'm going to hang it up and stop this.